Let's talk some more about memory. There are different types of long-term memory and a variety of terms to describe the types. The memory that we have for our life events is called autobiographical memory. Another term for it is also episodic memory. Our semantic memory includes our knowledge of world facts and also our knowledge of word meanings. There is also procedural memory, which include our memory of body movements, such as those that we might learn in dance routines or when riding a bike or developing other skills. The term declarative memory is a pretty old term, and it's come to include all of the memories that we can talk about or declare. So these include semantic memories and also episodic memories. We certainly have memories that we generally cannot talk about. We don't know we have them. So these include sensory memories and also procedural memory. A more modern term for the kinds of memories that are conscious, that we can talk about, and that we know is explicit memory. Implicit memory would include those memories that we are not aware that we know, and therefore we can't talk about them. These are sensory memories and procedural memory. There are other types of implicit memories other than the types that we have talked about, so keep that in mind. The first major process model of memory is the one proposed by Atkinson and Shiffrin in 1971. The model shows how information is transferred between the major memory types: sensory memory, short-term memory, also called working memory, and long-term memory. It was during this time that people began to use the term encoding to refer to the storing of memory, and the term retrieval to the accessing of memory. The shortcomings of the model are that the different types of long-term memory are not distinguished. In the early 1980s, the ACT-STAR memory model was proposed by John Anderson. The strength of the model was that it did distinguish between declarative explicit memory from production or implicit memory. In the decades since the ACT-STAR model was proposed, researchers have become much more detailed about their thinking of encoding in memory and retrieval from memory. Researchers have recognized that sometimes retrieving information from memory can be unsuccessful. You know the information, but you can't just produce it on cue. For example, tip of the tongue states, when that word is just there on the tip of your tongue, but you can't produce it. Studies have found that although people cannot produce the word, they can make judgments about the word that are accurate. They can tell you, what does the word begin with? How many syllables does it have? What part of speech is it? This research also shows that there are individual differences. We have more TOTs as we age. If you're bilingual or multilingual, you have more of these than monolinguals. And some kinds of words have TOTs more often, such as personal names. A comprehensive model of memory that's going to be viewed as accurate must be able to explain not only memory retrieval success, but also memory retrieval failures. Perhaps the most influential memory model of them all is Alan Baddeley's model of working memory, which he proposed in the late 1980s. Baddeley's model attempted to describe working memory. In contrast, John Anderson's ACT-STAR model was modeling long-term memory. Baddeley's model describes working memory as the interaction among multiple components. There is the executive control system, which supervises and controls processes, but there's also an articulatory loop that handles the verbal information that happens during rehearsal and when you process auditory information. And then there's also the visual spatial sketchpad, which processes visual information, including visual imagery. Support for the model has come not only from experiments working with healthy participants, but also those who have sustained brain damage. That's all for now.